wanted a new pellet stove for a long time, but they've become quite costly. And so I found one on Facebook Market that was at seemed like a reasonable price. And reasonable to me is a little over 10% of the new cost. So I found this stove in good shape and made the deal to purchase it, brought it home, only to find out that it would not work. So I put all the pieces together, the stovepipe, the flue, everything, but it would not start and stay lit. That's the point where persistence begins, and that's what I want to talk about in today's devotion. It took some persistence to get it going. I tried different things. I looked online. I called people and tried to figure out what might be wrong with this pellet stove. Finally, I took the side apart, looked in behind things, and discovered that a vacuum switch was not working properly. I called a furnace repairman to make certain all my techniques were right, and sure enough, the vacuum switch wasn't working. Now, as you can see, there's a nice fire going in that place. And I want to talk about persistence. Paul writes to the church in Galatia, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for if in due season we will reap if we do not give up. In the King James Version, it said, if we faint not. There's this whole thing of hanging in there, not giving up, not just throwing in the towel, so to speak, when things go wrong. In the spiritual life, there's very similar things. It seems like sometimes when we start on the greatest ideas, it feels like God opened the door for us to do. Things don't tend to go well. Oftentimes, they go the opposite of well. And so Jesus taught us about persistence as well. He taught us in prayer in Luke chapter 18. He told them a parable to the effect that they ought to pray and not lose heart. We're lost heart. You prayed for things, and you continued to pray for things, and you didn't get an answer. Someone like me trying to get this pellet stove going over and over and not finding an answer for that. Well, that's what we sometimes do in prayer. But the Bible talks about consistency in prayer and persistence in prayer and believing God even when the answer doesn't come the first time or the second time or even the third time we ask. And when we get to heaven, we're going to be evaluated a bit on our persistence. Hebrews 12 talks to us a little about that. It says, therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, that's talking about the people that have gone before us, let us lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance. Notice that word endurance, the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith. For the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Endurance. Actually, when I was in high school, endurance was my better races because I wasn't particularly fast, but I could run a bit farther. And this journey of life is a bit of an endurance race. It takes persistence. We can't give up on the faith. We can't just decide, well, it's all taken too long. James tells us in James 1, count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet various trials, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. I pray that God helps you to be persistent, that you're steadfast, that you keep going even when the going gets a little bit tough. After all, as we remember again from Paul, let us not grow weary in doing good.